The ground is a weapon. One time somebody commented on a video, and I remember that comment because it's genius. He said, the floor is like the brass knuckles of the wrestler. And wow, it struck a chord. It's so true. Every single time when I'm discussing grappling on the street, people are like, yeah, but the ground is so hard. How are you gonna grapple there? I'm like, yeah, you're right. The ground is so hard. So now imagine what's gonna happen if I throw you down to the pavement. It's gonna hurt. When I was a bouncer, I'm gonna tell you, I've used throws and takedowns on several occasions, let's say. And from my personal experience, each and every time, it basically ended the fight. Either it was unconsciousness, or all resistance has been dropped, or it was so hard that all of the little struggle that was left was suffocated quickly. Even when you read in the news about someone was in a street fight and they were gravely injured. There were some cases where people from a fist, from a punch, have even lost their lives. It was horrible. But leaving the horrible aspect aside, from a purely medical standpoint, not the punch was the most dangerous part of that. But the punch made him unconscious, and then he fell to the pavement from a standing position. It's like 6 foot above the floor. Boom, on the pavement. And the pavement is harder than any fist. And the fist is always a bit wobbly. The ground is not. The ground is not. You can punch a bit, there's not much weight on it. But the pavement, it has zero give. It's just there. So when you hit the pavement, it's just that stop. Baff! Immediate deceleration to zero. Immediate, like on 1 inch, on 1 centimeter. Only as much as your own body, especially your own skull, can flex. And that's not a lot. Your skull cannot flex a lot. So it's a high danger of breaking your own skull. So that means when I was throwing people on the pavement, I had to be careful. I had to hold their head so they don't hit the pavement. Imagine that. I had to defend myself. I had to subdue somebody. And grappling, wrestling on the street was so incredibly effective that I had to basically pull my punches. And I had to not only care about overcoming him, I had to care to not do too much. And as a bouncer, I have to be very careful. But if you're just a guy and being attacked, and you just have to fight for your life, and you throw somebody to the pavement with all force, man, oh, it's so dangerous. And one of the best things about wrestling and grappling as a self-defense action is that it's near fail proof. It's much more likely for a punch to miss than for you to not be able to grab somebody. It's much more likely for a punch to not end the fight than for a throw to not end the fight. So many times have I seen punch, ba-boom, the other guy still standing. It's much more of a roulette. It's much more of a dice toss than a throw. So yeah, as I said before,